Hey budding lawyers, welcome to the podcast. And today we have advocate Vaidehee Chhatre. Oh, sorry, not advocate, she is a lawyer yet. So lawyer Vaidehee Chhatre, who practices in corporate law sector. So we'll be talking about corporate law, lawyer life, lawyer stories. So let's start. So Vaidehee, what actually inspired you or why did you take up corporate law after LLB?
Okay, so when I started my LLB course, by the second year, I was quite sure that I was interested in corporate than more than anything else. I think just as the field, it really attracts me, and I feel very happy when I work in this particular field. So there is no specific reason why I chose corporate law, but I think it's just the inner calling that helps.
I mean, there are many options when you start. You can choose into litigation, non-litigation. In litigation also there are many options. In non-litigation also there are many options. So skipping all other options and going into corporate law. So was there anything specific you choose?
Yeah, so first of all, as you rightly said, that there are so many options, especially the litigation and non-litigation. So I was very clear that when I start, I want to start with non-litigation into corporate. Because if you see the corporate law field as such, it is very important for you to initially learn the non-litigation part. Because in corporate law, that is more important than the actual litigation because there are very rare times when companies go into litigation, but the process before that is so vast and it is so important for the company's profit or loss and the overall functioning that non-litigation is very important. That is why in the beginning I decided that I'm going to focus on non-litigation, and now that I am pretty comfortable in that, I am also thinking of starting the litigation part of it. But yes, I have attended court cases and the litigation under some very senior lawyers. That is another perk you get when you are a corporate lawyer.
Okay. So, there are many people, including me. Previously, I was not clear about what corporate law includes and what is corporate law and all. So, can you just give a brief about corporate law? Like, what does it
Yeah,
include?
okay. So, starting with what is corporate law? Corporate law is anything and everything that a company will require in its functioning, the legal process. Okay, so it includes right from the incorporation of the company, whatever legal structure they require, as in which type of company do they want to form, right from there to the IPR, then the contracts, then the compliance part of the company. There are various company policies, this and that, overall functioning. Plus, then it also includes the negotiations, settlements, dispute resolutions, and various formats. Then it includes legal advisory. When companies fall into some trouble, they most of the times want such a solution on it where it is legal, it is in the framework of legal. At the same time, it is profit making. At the same time, it makes sure that the company does not spoil its relation with the other companies in the industry. So all these things are included in corporate law. If you want me to say, tell you that who is fit for corporate law, then any person who has business skills along with legal skills is fit for corporate law.
Okay, so anything and everything regarding companies, startups, etc.,
Yeah,
is it covers into corporate law,
correct,
right?
correct.
Yeah. So are there any subjects which you must focus more on in your law school if you want to like select corporate law after your college?
I think that company law is important, contract act is important, then IPR is very important. All these things are important. Apart from that, international law and business law, if you have any subject as such or any certification available, then you should go for it because all these things are very highly required. Apart from this, the regular advisory part needs to be focused on. For that, internships are also a must.
Yeah. So you mentioned international law. Can you explain how is it connected to corporate law and why is it important?
Yeah, sure. So recently, I've been working on a lot of international agreements. then settlements, dispute resolution, and all of that. So, if we see that, we know that in every country, the law and the procedure is a little different, but the basics are always same. And I have been working on such contracts which are there, in various, which are getting executed between various countries. For example, India and USA, USA and Turkey, then, all around the world. So you are sitting at one place and you are making documents which have to be executed around the world. At the same time, if there is any dispute, then you are sitting here and through video calls, you are having the meetings wherein you are coming to a point of settlement. So all these things happen, and that is why international law is very much required.
Yeah, right. So when you talk about companies, companies are not restricted to a particular geographical location like a nation or so. So that's why they have their branches and like other subsidiaries throughout the world, and that's why like, they are working in different time zones and all. So that's why that international law is there.
Right.
So this one query which many of the students have is like, is CA or CS important if you want to get into corporate law along with LLB?
See, I will say that CA and CS is always important. It doesn't matter in which field of law you are going. But ऐसा नहीं है कि you have to be a CA or CS to enter into corporate law. If it is there, it is an add-on. So it harms nobody. It is always recommended, but you won't suffer if you have not done that.
Yeah, means it is not a compulsion, but it's
No.
good if you have.
Yes.
So in corporate law, are there any subfields like in which you can specialize in?
Yeah. So in corporate law, if you want a specific specialization, then there are many subfields for that matter. So you can choose law as per the industry, because we know that there are so many industries. One is finance, then there is hospitality, then there is this advertising and digital media. That is also a very growing and booming industry at present. Then apart from that, there are NBFCs, and there is aviation and whatnot. So you can specialize yourself as per one particular industry. That way you can divide the subfields, or you can just go like somebody is very much expert in contract drafting, somebody is expert in dispute resolution. So that way also you can categorize. But somewhere I'll be very honest, and I'll tell you that all these things are linked. So it won't work if you just know one thing and you skip on other things. You need to have a combined knowledge. But yes, you can decide that extreme specialization मेरा किसमें होना चाहिए. So that is another thing.
If you start getting clients from a particular field only, then you'll automatically develop that expertise. So are there any specific skills which you must develop if you want to get into this field?
Yeah, there are many, not just a few, but there are many. So first is speaking skills. That is very much important. You need to make yourself comfortable in talking to unknown people. And because see, in this particular field, the time you'll be talking to unknown people, that will be probably for some deal which is worth lakhs and crores of rupees. Okay, so there you won't get really the time to warm up and gel up and talk, and then you always have to be on that balance. Where as a lawyer you are formal enough, but as a person you don't just cut that person off or make that person feel awkward. So you have to be friendly to a particular extent, and then again you have to be strict to a particular extent, because you are a lawyer, right?
Yeah, and that is most of us are not able to excel in or start like I right now I can't talk to any stranger, but previously it was not the case. Like we hesitate a lot, and we are more reluctant to approach any stranger, or even if we have some work, if there is any work related task, we are quite reluctant to go there and talk to someone whom we don't know, we are not comfortable with.
But I think that this is a process which develops over the period of time. So I am sitting right in front of you. I am a introvert person. So it is very difficult for me on my personal level to, include too many people in my life. But at the same time, I have developed myself putting in efforts in such a way that for work, I can easily talk to anybody and, there won't be a communication barrier. And another most important thing which you need to have it in you if you want to become a corporate lawyer is you should not have that boundary set up कि मैं इतना ही समझूंगा मैं इतना ही सीखूंगा. You should be ready to learn any and everything, because I'll tell you one more thing which people don't actually think about before entering into this field is that they focus only on the law part. But see, if you are a corporate lawyer, every client's business you should understand. So उनका business समझना पड़ता है. Their business model needs to be understood. What is their expectation? What is their vision? So everything needs to be considered. So you have to be on your toes and you have to be updated in every particular field to be a good corporate lawyer.
Yeah, but that is true. But I think that is true for every lawyer practicing in like any other field. Yeah.
Right.
So, is there any specific timing, kind of, when should you decide to that you are going to, step into corporate law after your LLB? Is there like if you have to decide it early, or you can do it even after your final years and all?
See, it's best if you decide it by the time you finish, before you finish your second year of law. I mean, second year of LLB. If you are in BLS, then maybe fourth year of your BLS LLB. So that is because then you can have your internships in line with that. And if you have not decided till the time you have passed out, it's still okay. I think every person should give at least 1 year after they have passed out to explore things and to understand where they actually want to settle in. So I think it's fine. 1 or 2 years period after passing out is also okay. And the best thing would be second year or second last year of your graduation.
Yeah, because when you pass out and if you don't have any, like your CV doesn't show any internships in corporate law firms, then usually corporate law firms or any individual practicing in corporate law will not consider you to be hired, right?
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure about that because me personally, so before I started my corporate lawyer as such of practice, so before that I have done internships under a criminal lawyer. I have done internships under civil lawyer. I have even done internship under a maritime lawyer. So I have got those kind of experiences during my internship. But trust me, they helped me so much because मुझे court का exposure चाहिए था. So I went under a criminal lawyer. That is the best way, where you learn the situation-based thinking of a lawyer, how it should be developed. Because criminally, there are 10,000 situations which happen. And there are various types of people, some people even that you can be scared of to talk to as a client. So that exposure you get. Then in civil, you get to learn patience. That is very important, even as a corporate lawyer or for that matter, any lawyer. So any type of internship is going to help. But internship hona is very much important because it gives you, it makes you stand out in the crowd. So that is what happened. I got my first job before getting my certificate of LLB. They knew that I have attempted my last exam and I'm waiting for the results in that time. So if I would have not passed out, I would have lost my job. But then I passed, and that is why it continued. And then it went on to something that now today I am sitting here and I have various clients in this field.
Yeah. So that helps if you have done internships. So you said you stand out of the crowd. I see that even if you don't have any internships, even then you stand out of the crowd. But then you are completely alone. Like no one will consider you. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Continue.
We all somewhere fate also plays a role. Okay. So who is
Yeah.
interviewing you? If that person is able to understand the positives in you, then maybe you stand a chance. So that is why we work on, developing our skills, because we cannot rely on that particular thing, right?
Right, right, right. And one thing I heard was, you told that you interned under a maritime lawyer. So can you
Yeah.
just in a sentence tell us about what it is and what matters do such lawyers deal with?
No, see, I won't be able to tell you in detail because that was my first internship. So
Okay,
that time, more of the research work, and I used to observe that how my senior lawyer, she talks to her clients and how does she deal with them. And maritime law, I can just say one thing, that it is very strict and it has some really set up boundaries. And there are rules which are so tough that if you go against those rules, there are very high consequences when it comes to maritime. So that is one thing which I learned. Of course, in detail, I could not, because that was my first internship, and you know how first internships are, right?
so I think they may be dealing with all the cargoes and all the shipments and
Yeah.
all they carry.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
legalities regarding that. Yeah. And because I know that in Indian Navy also there are legal officers, but that is you have to clear the exam and all. Then you
In Navy, in Army, everywhere there are positions for lawyers.
lawyers.
So
Yeah,
that is also another field. If somebody is interested, then that person should definitely think of it.
yeah. I mean, one is interested in legal things and also interested to join the armed forces. Then
Yeah.
one must consider. Okay, a lot of people watch Suits, and then they many people decide to join law. So for them, can you just make a distinction about what is corporate law, like non-litigation side, and corporate litigation? What's the difference? And yeah, what's
Okay.
that?
So there is a vast difference in litigation side and in non-litigation side. Because when you talk about litigation side, uh, when companies go into litigation, it can be of any nature. It can be a NCLT case, it can be a civil case, it can even be a criminal case at times. So litigation has a very wide scope when it comes to corporate, because ऐसा नहीं होता है that companies will have only one type of dispute which will go into litigation. So every other code is applicable when it comes to disputes, because it's a simple thing. If you belong to a particular industry, so say for example you are in hospitality industry and then your business has some troubles and there is a dispute, you go to the court. Now if somebody has come walked into your hotel and does has done some kind of a mischief or offense which is criminal in nature, then it will be a criminal litigation. So litigation will cover all areas of litigation, and non-litigation is where you are centered at one place and then you have to manage everything sitting there. So lot of coordination, hands-on thinking, and reflexes matter a lot. And initially, I would say, or forget about initially, otherwise also, time नहीं होता है. So there is no fixed time when you are in corporate. Okay. So ऐसा नहीं है कि it's 10 to 8, 10 to 9. No. कभी भी इमरजेंसी आता है, as a lawyer, you need to be there.
Yeah, like doctor. Even
Yeah,
lawyers have
very
similar
like that.
role.
Yes. And people will remember you only when they are in trouble.
Yeah, obviously. So, when you're talking about this 9 to 5 or 9 to 8, whatever, so people have this set thing in mind that litigation is full of struggle and there's a lot of things and all. And non-litigation is fine. You get good money and it's quite better than litigation. But that's not the case, right? So every profession has its own challenges. So can you tell me something about that?
Yeah. So if any person will ever join non-litigation thinking that it will be easier, then that person is going to get the biggest disappointment of their life. Because one thing I have realized, so I have worked under senior counsels who are famous in the litigation part, as well as I have worked under some senior counsels who are famous in their non-litigation part. And trust me, what I've learned from all of them is every field has its own challenges, and it requires same level of dedication to make a mark there. So nobody can say that non-litigation is easy or litigation is easy. It's just the ego that talks when people say कि अरे नहीं non-litigation क्यों कर रहा है या litigation क्यों कर रहा है. So that is a different thing. But trust me, both of them are very difficult. So जहाँ भी जाना है मेहनत की तैयारी हो तो जाओ. Whether law is not the field, if you don't want to struggle, then it's not the place for you.
Yeah, but that's the case with every field. Like you have to struggle initially everywhere whenever
If you
you.
want to make a mark, then you need to
Yeah,
do whatever
yeah,
comes in.
yeah. But one thing is there that regarding paychecks, regarding salary, that is one very much like differentiating factor in litigation and non-litigation, right?
Yeah, but even in non-litigation for that matter. So, if you are on a payroll of a company, like as an employee in their legal department, then your salary is secure. But again, there is a fixed salary and not a fixed type of work. Then you may have to do a lot of work in limited salary. तो स्टेबिलिटी के साथ ये एक ड्रॉबैक आता है. एट द सेम टाइम, if you are having your own practice and you have companies as your client, even though if you are doing the non-litigation part, then again it works just like litigation, any other law firm. Client आएगा, पैसा आएगा. Client नहीं आएगा, earning नहीं आएगा. So as simple as that.
Right. So you are practicing from how many years are you practicing? I guess 3.
Before I passed out, I did 2 years of my internship, and then after I passed out, I think it's more than 3 years.
So there may be many sources like news websites or something like that where you may be updating yourself regarding corporate law and stuff. So can you suggest some websites or blogs, anything to our viewers who want to stay
Actually,
updated?
for corporate law, I can not really suggest any website because in India, there is so much gap when it comes to corporate law and news related to corporate law. So for me, to keep myself updated, what I do is I follow all the legal related blogs or any articles that I come across. Not just that, whatever news we have, so I follow that also. LinkedIn is a very good source. If you want to, as a corporate lawyer, if you want some knowledge, then LinkedIn is a very good source because uh, countries other than India, they are more aware of the corporate law as a field, and they have more articles or more information on their websites or anything when it comes to corporate law. So that is one thing. Other thing which I like is the government website. So as I told you that IPR is a very important part when it comes to the corporate law. So IP India is the website, that is the government website for filing of trademarks and patents and all of those things. So if you explore that website, you will get knowledge regarding IPR better than any other course or any other textbook. So if you want to keep yourself updated, the best thing that I have learned for corporate law is to explore. And government is doing a really good job in that. Trust me on that.
Yeah, and the websites which you mentioned are really important, like the government website, because you will get the information directly from the authentic source.
Right.
And the second thing is LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is very important for all professionals, especially lawyers. And nowadays, like from few months or a year, I've seen that LinkedIn has grown a lot, and a lot of lawyers have become active, and many lawyers are really posting really good content. So that is a must for you. You must grow your LinkedIn profile and follow some really cool people who are posting good stuff. And so, for if you want to specialize for say in corporate law or any other field, then start following those pages or those lawyers who are practicing in that field. So you will automatically get updated
So
with that field.
I like to add here that on LinkedIn there are various groups. So you can request to be a part of that group, which will be corporate law specific. So all the corporate lawyers over the world will be in that group, and they will be posting various doubts, various queries on which other lawyers will be answering them. And if you actually read that, it gives you more practical knowledge than just the textual knowledge, and it helps
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah. Practical knowledge only helps the most than the
Yes.
textual knowledge. So we would like to hear some of your story. So if you like, and most of our viewers know that we have a playlist on our YouTube channel named Lawyer Stories. So we
Yeah. Yeah.
make videos on lawyers, young lawyers specifically, come and share one of their stories, any incident which they want to share, from which we all can learn as well as get kind of entertained and all, because it is more relatable. So, what's
Right.
the one story you want to share with us?
Actually, see, it's very difficult for me to share one story because the kind of job I have done so far, it involved a lot of traveling all over India. So in every state, there is a story for me. But to share here, I want to share one story which will have a lot of learning in it. So this was in my initial stages in my first job. So when I started working in a company, the first group that I was working for. So I was very new, just passed out, and my first job and all those things. So we were told that I had one senior above me in the legal department, and we were told that there was some dispute in the Goa factory, and it was very urgent, and so you will have to go there and resolve it along with the management. So then, this is another very good thing of being a corporate lawyer. You get to work directly with the management. So you can see the real thing happening on the table. So I was told that you'll also have to accompany and all that. So I said, okay. We were told that we have to go for 2 days. Okay, in 2 days, this whatever dispute you resolve, you come back. So naturally, see, I am a person when I go to travel, if you tell me I have to travel for 2 days, I'm going to carry luggage only for 2 days. So I'm not that kind of person who will pack up extra things when you travel. So I took normal 2 days for clothes and everything. And I mean, so after we went there, then we realized that this thing is much bigger than what we thought because it was a alcohol factory, alcohol brewery, which had a dispute, and it was worth some 34 crores. So it was a big thing. So now here, our mandate was that till the time this does not resolve, you cannot come back. So you have to get your work done and come back. I went there for 2 days and I ended up staying there 24 days. And trust me, it was so painful because I had only 2 or 3 pairs of clothes, जो मैं alternate पहनती थी, which were formal. This one was a part of that wardrobe which I carried. So
Did you purposely wear this today?
I don't know, actually not purposely, but it helps.
Okay.
So उतने ही कपड़े हैं. I have to reuse it every time. And the biggest pain is that you go to a location like Goa and you stay there for 24 days and you don't get a chance to go on beach even for one single time. And you are continuously going to various offices, government offices there, to the factory there, to the port in Goa. But so I have seen Goa's district court, Goa's high court, and attended the matters there and everything. But I could not go on the beach. And then ultimately, very sad to become, and you come back. And there, the work, when you travel for work, it's pathetic. Because I remember in my initial days, my work would start at 8 a.m. in the morning because now I'm traveling. So I'm working under senior lawyers who are famous there for litigation. So उनके टाइम के हिसाब से I have to adjust. Morning 8 बजे चालू होगा and my work would end by the time it's 2 a.m. 2:30 a.m. at night. ठीक है? So that long work and all 24 days just working because you're traveling, there is no Saturday Sunday. So वहां पे तो काम खत्म करना है without any holiday. So my first 6 months, पता नहीं मेरा नसीब था या क्या, that company had such important issues that I could not get one single holiday. and I was working all the time, all the time. So this is my story of the 24 days, and my entire time, my first 2 years have been like that. I'll get a call. There is some emergency. I have to run, and it will be in any corner of this country, and you just have to go. Sometimes there are people along with you. Sometimes you are alone. So you really have to pick up that courage and do those things. When I traveled, I am a very protected child, okay? So before I got this exposure, I had never traveled alone. I had never stayed alone at night at some unknown locations. So there was so much that I was thrown on just like that, and I had to pick it up. But then I knew that I'm going to give my all in this. And I gave it. It was very difficult, but it was very rewarding also.
So it was not only your learning experience in terms of a lawyer, but also as a person in your personally you grew, you learned a lot.
I became independent in true sense. For us, we call independence as when we call independence, we consider only the financial independence. We don't understand how many other factors we are dependent on in life. So I became independent with respect to my clothes, with respect to my things, with respect to people accompanying me. I was on my own. Then even when it comes to your security, you just know that you have to stand up for yourself. You don't know if anybody else will be around to take care of you. So all these things, and I also learned one more thing, that we think that the world is bad. There are bad people in the world, but trust me, there are more good people in the world, which we don't get to know because of the media. You actually travel, you go there, you see so many new people and so many good people.
Right. Regarding stories, this one thing is there, but with your story, it's like when you are discussing any Goa plans or your friends are discussing that or any memories from Goa, and you will be like, no, please change the topic. Okay, I have been to
Oh,
Goa,
that's
but I haven't been any. So if you ask anyone asks you where did you go in Goa, so you will be like, your friends will be like this beach, North Goa, South Goa, this, that, and you'll be like, okay, Goa District Court, Goa High Court, and office.
I have faced this so much. My friends were like, how can you not go on a beach? You were there for 24 days. And even after that, okay, so Goa became like my second home because till the time that dispute was on, hearings आते थे court के, I had to run, I had to attend all that, and वैसे तो मैं आते जाते रहती थी. So not just Goa, I've been to so many places, and every place it has been like that because by the time my work would end, एंड मुझे फ्री टाइम मिलता था देन आई वुड हैव टू रश बैक टू एयरपोर्ट क्योंकि फ्लाइट का टाइमिंग उस हिसाब से होता था. So no chance of roaming. The only good thing whenever anybody will ask me about Goa, मैं पहले एक बार फ्रेंड्स के साथ गई थी, so I asked them, which trip are you referring to? Then I can talk about it because otherwise I can talk about the excise office of Goa, the police commissioner's office of Goa, then the district court, the high court, and lawyer's office, and all those things. Stationery का दुकान वहाँ पे कहाँ पे अच्छा है, and all that I can tell you.
Stationery shop also. That is interesting.
No, because see, you're on your own.
Right.
खुद जाओ निकालो, प्रिंट आउट निकालना है, खुद जाओ निकालो. वहाँ पे तुम बॉस नहीं होते हो, कोई तुम्हारे अंडर काम करने नहीं होता. You have to manage everything.
Yeah, true. That is really something very really good experience. And thank you for sharing this story with us, and thank you for joining us today.
Hey budding lawyers, thank you for listening to the podcast. Hope you liked it. Do check out our YouTube channel and other social media pages. Links are in the description below. Thank you.